Who doesn't like pizza? We're gonna make some sourdough pizza bases. Perfect, really simple. 500 grams of strong flour, sourdough, fed and ready. So we're gonna add in quite a bit, 300 grams. There's my spoon. Just go straight in. Feed that for later. Big pinch of salt, season it. That's probably about 6 grams. There we go, 2 big pinches of salt. And then water. This is warm water, so it's gonna get the dough going nice and quickly. I'm gonna do 250 ml. We may add a touch more, but we don't wanna make this too wet because it's gonna be harder to handle. Off the scales, using our dough scraper, we're just gonna bring this all together. So if you mix it in a bowl, just makes it easier to handle to start with until all of the water starts incorporating into the flour. So once it all starts coming together, get rid of the dough scraper. Give it a knead, get those last little bits all kind of mixed together. And now we're going to empty it onto our workstation. And then using the palm of our hand, we're going to start stretching the dough and kneading it. And essentially, this is putting energy into the dough and it's going to start developing those gluten strands. Now in terms of mixing, at the moment you can see it's pretty raggedy, it's pretty sticky, but actually if we knead this for about 10 minutes or so, it's going to come together in a nice stretchy dough and it's going to be perfect for making some pizzas. So I've kneaded the dough for about 10 minutes and you can see it's looking more like a dough. So now we need to portion it up. I'm going to make this into 3 pizzas. So just using our sharp cutter, just portion it up. And now we just need to make them slightly more round, kind of pre-shaping them. So again, just using our dough scraper, it's a little bit tacky. We're just gonna spin it around and that creates a little bit of surface tension and makes them easier to make into pizzas later on. Now at this point, you can either leave them out and let them prove up for an hour, half an hour or so, depending on how hungry you are. But if you want a really nice pizza, what I would advise is putting them in the fridge overnight, and that's just gonna slow the fermentation right down, and you're gonna get a much tangier, nicer, chewier sourdough pizza ball, and they can stay in the fridge for 2 days happily. If you're making loads, you can stick them in the freezer. So to do that, we're just gonna put them, no flour, onto a tray. Doesn't matter if they stick a little bit. Get a bag, just cover it up so they don't form a skin, and then stick these in the fridge overnight, and then the next day when you're ready for your pizza, you take them out, you let them come to room temperature for about 2 hours, and then you're ready to eat. Okay, now we're at the important stage of making and baking our pizza. So, we've got our pizza dough balls here. They've been resting in the fridge overnight, and they're ready to go. They've been out for about 2 hours, so they're warmed up and they're good to go. So what we're gonna use now, got all of our ingredients. Oven is on as hot as possible. Now, at home you wanna put a baking stone in it and just turn it to the absolute maximum, or you could do it on your barbecue, but the hotter the better. And then we have some fine semolina here. This is what you need. It basically acts as like little ball bearings and it's gonna stop our pizza sticking to the work surface. So we're just gonna liberally spread like this, and then pick up our pizza dough ball. And then we just want to give it like a little pre-shape. So we're just going to flatten it to a kind of about a centimeter thick little disc. Sprinkle it with a little bit more semolina, and we're just going to leave that to rest. And that's really important. It makes it much easier having a short rest, even for like 5-10 minutes, to coming to handle it and making our pizza dough. So if you're making more than one, get them all done at this point. So both in shape, put one on top of the other, and now cover it back up again with a tea towel or a bit of plastic, and that stops it forming a skin, and then just leave it there for 10-20 minutes, and that resting is just going to make it much easier to handle and make a really beautiful pizza. So our pizza bases have been resting for about 15 minutes or so, and you can see they're nice and relaxed. So plenty of semolina, that's the key here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to hand stretch it. So using the weight of the dough and kind of holding the rim and just allowing gravity to kind of make our pizza shape. Now this will make probably a good 12-inch pizza. So we put it down, little sprinkle, turn them over, because we do not want this to stick. Now the key here is not to put loads of toppings on and then leave it for half an hour, because that will glue itself to the table. So we want to work quite quickly. So I've got myself some pizza sauce, with just a bit of passata. Just put it on and use the back of the spoon. And then we got ourselves some mozzarella cheese. Just dot that on. This is quite a wet cheese, so you don't want to put too much on because it's going to make your pizza really wet. But if you like it really cheesy, what I'd recommend is putting some grated cheese on. And you can get grated mozzarella or a bit of cheddar or a mix, and that won't make it go too soggy. And then what we've got here, a bit of lockdown Parma ham. A few olives. Stick a few of them on. Right, and then just a little sprinkling of salt. Always nice. Bit of pepper. Okay, so this is where you want a pizza peel. This is going to make it much easier to get this onto the pizza peel and then into the oven. So, wish me luck. There you go. Should have talked through that. Basically, it's a confident swoop under and then a kind of flip back, and it just gets itself on. And then we come to the oven. So we've got a pizza oven here. This is at 400 degrees C. So this is going to bake, probably catch fire in under 2 minutes. So it's going to cook real fast. But just essentially, the hotter the better. Straight onto the pizza stone. You can see that smoking. And now we're going to shut the oven and give that a minute or so. It's looking bubbly and nice. I reckon that's ready to get out. That's been in there for about 2 minutes, but again, you just want to do it until, look at that, it's beautifully crispy. Cheese is nice and melted on top. Gorgeous. And then, just to finish it off, we're going to do a little bit of basil. Use your greens, don't you? A little drizzle of olive oil. And only one thing for it.